All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and start with the Xbox portion. We are back with news again, Xbox side. Next up is Nintendo, so let's go ahead and start the intro, and let's get to the news. Welcome back. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the Xbox portion of news. So let's start with something that's pretty much a no-brainer, but it's already being hyped up as news. So let's go ahead and talk about it. 5 Xbox One X games that you didn't realize were 4K. So let's go ahead and talk about them. Good chunk of these you already know are 4K. Disneyland Adventures. We have Super Lucky Tales. We have Quantum Break, and we have Zoo Tycoon along with Minecraft. So there you go. Those are the games that are on this list. If any of those tickle your fancy, go right ahead and hop on one of them, okay? Move on to another story. So, as this review right here, they call the new Xbox One X incredibly powerful, but far too expensive. Now, I will agree that the console definitely is a little over the top as of right now. You see, $500, okay? Yes, it's more powerful, sure. $500 more powerful, but it would have made more sense for Microsoft to take a hit on the hardware. It really would have, especially and put it at $400. I guarantee you more people would have bitten the hook if it was at $400 and it had, more content, you know what I'm saying? But if you look at the current content on the market as of right now for the Xbox One X, there really hardly isn't any. There isn't any at all if you think about it, you know what I'm saying? So $500, that doesn't really justify a $500 price tag if you think about it with the current stuff that's on the market, at least in my opinion. I don't believe that justifies a $500 price tag. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, if I was to get this, I would wait, to next year to see what exactly is coming and what exactly do we have, then, you know what I'm saying? We already know Crackdown 3 is coming out next year, and we know Super Lucky Tales is coming out next year, along with Sea of Thieves, if Super Lucky Tales doesn't come out now. But I think Super Lucky Tales, I don't know, I'm not mistaken, I gotta look at the release date of Super Lucky Tales, I forgot. But yeah, I know we have Sea of Thieves for one, and Crackdown 3 for next year, so that's all you got as of right now. And for $500, those games really don't justify a $500 price tag. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'll play. We'll see. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you guys, really, if you guys want to see the value. But me personally, $500 price tag for what we currently have, which is hardly anything. It ain't really a deal in my opinion. But again, it's new hardware. A lot of people just buy new hardware because they want the latest and greatest. So go right ahead, enjoy yourself. And others, like my boy Jack, for example, he's getting it because he never had an Xbox, so he's going to enjoy himself. So I know he's enjoying it. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Moving on. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds will get 4K enhancements, or get Xbox One X enhancements, you want to be specific. Now, what's a little pretty interesting about this, though, they said whether the game will be native or upscaled is yet to be determined, basically. So you read that there. Is yet to be determined. So we don't know if it's going to be 4K or not. Honestly, I would say, skip the whole 4K thing and make it 60 frames per second, especially since this is a PC type of game. This game is PC heavy. So for a game that's PC heavy, it would make more sense for them to focus on 60 frames per second. I'm sorry, not 4K, but 60 frames per second. So that way, you console dudes who are really going to go against PC guys, you guys really think you're going to, have a match. If your game's running at 30 frames per second and you're going against some people at, with unlocked frame rates at 60 frames per second, vice versa, you're going to get smacked, man. Not only do their games run faster than yours, but they have more control with mouse and keyboard support. It's going to be a slaughter for, console guys when it comes to mouse and keyboard going against a shooter game like this. It really is. But again, we shall see. We shall see, man. We shall see. I'm not going to make anything bold claims, even though, history has proven that, that is factual. So it is what it is. Microsoft is not leaving the current players behind as of right now with the Xbox One X. They're claiming that they're not leaving people behind. They said this at the start of this whole thing, right? They did this in the Xbox Scorpio reveal video when they were showing off, like the little chip, and they were talking about it like in a group therapy type of thing. My thing is this, okay? Yes, they said this, but something tells me next year, maybe a year after, when the price has to eventually drop for the Xbox One X. Let's be real here. Pretty sure next year we will see a price cut for the Xbox One X to probably $400, $349 maybe. And when the price drops to about that point, right, it would make sense for Microsoft to focus more on that console than the overall Xbox One S. Now, they are still advertising the Xbox One S because, let's be real here, it's still in the same family, sure, but look at PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Sony's Sony's not in no position to where we're like, oh yeah, Sony did no wrong. No, Sony did the same thing with this. I'm pretty sure Microsoft will do the same thing the moment the Xbox One X gets to a point where it's super, more appeasing to customers in terms of a price. If they get the $349 price point, well, say goodbye to the advertising for the Xbox One S. I can already tell you right now, I don't see the Xbox One S getting advertised as much as the Xbox One X. I can already see that. I mean, look at the PS4 Pro and the standard launch PS4. Remember when the standard launch PS4 came out, which is the one I have with the glossy finish on the side? When that console first came out, we were all good. We all had the trailers for that and everything like that. But then the moment they announced the PS4 Pro, which is the little upscaler pretty much, or VR capable thing, you want to say that much. But when the moment they announced that, they also had a slim model announced as well with the PS4 Pro. They had a slim on the side. So, they pretty much, discontinued the launch edition PS4 with that model, the slim and the PS4 Pro. So they pretty much are going to do the same thing with the Xbox One X. I can already see it happening. I mean, look what they did with the launch edition Xbox One. You know what I'm saying? They discontinued that for the S and the Xbox One X. But keep in mind, though, the moment this price drops to the Xbox One X, the Xbox One S is definitely not going to be marketed the way a lot of you think it's going to be marketed still. So that is what it is. And my last little bit of news for the Xbox eyes. A full-fledged next-gen Xbox may happen, says Microsoft's Albert Penello. Now, you guys remember Albert Penello, okay? He said a lot of wild things, like the whole 4K 60 argument that, especially after the reveal of the Xbox Scorpio at the time. Before it was called Xbox One X, it was called Scorpio. He said that 4K 60 uncompromised, all that jazz. He was talking about it. So, again, he says a lot of wild things. But keep in mind, I would not ignore this because it's pretty obvious a full-fledged Xbox is going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're going to get another Xbox. The question is, the reason why I say we're going to get another Xbox, even though a lot of people, especially my podcast members, will say no, we still, Microsoft still has, they still got they got a little bit of steam left in the tank. They got a little bit in the tank. But, depending on how the Xbox Scorpio or aka the Xbox One X does as of right now, that's going to really determine whether we get the Xbox. That's really going to determine it. It depends on the Xbox One X as of right now in terms of its sales and how it does going forward. I mean, if you look at the PS4 as of right now, Sony's pretty much extended this this console generation as it is. With the games coming in next year, and I'm pretty sure some of them are going to get pushed to next year. So 2019. Some are going to come out. I highly doubt a whole bunch of them are going to come out next year. Now, some are going to get pushed back to 2019 to fill in that calendar year. So it makes sense for them to space those out. But with games coming, right, next year and year after that, and Sony banking heavily on Spider-Man to push the PS4 to 100 million units sold, yeah, this console generation definitely has been extended a little bit. But something tells me Microsoft, I don't think Microsoft is stupid to try to get the one up on Sony, right? Like they did with the 360 and release their console first, especially when they just announced and put so much R&D and so much money into the Xbox One X as of right now to advertise it to, as the next big thing. You know what I'm saying? That's just going to look dumb and desperate on their behalf. So, but yes, I do believe, we're going to get new consoles. We're probably not going to get the next generation consoles until 2019. Actually, not even 2019. 2020, 2021 is when we're going to get the next generation consoles. So after 2018 and 2019, we'll have the new Xbox and the new PS5. Most likely, we will see the banner for the PS5 in 2019, near the end of 2019, kind of like how they did with PS4 this generation, where they had it like in February, if I'm not mistaken, and they showed it off. We saw the specs. We didn't see the console, but we saw the specs, the controller. We saw a few games. We saw the We saw a little bit of tech demos, you know what I'm saying, and seamless things of that nature. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. You know, we're gonna get that from Sony, and then Microsoft is gonna do their same thing. Maybe they're not gonna. Hopefully, they don't blow their load like they did the first time, where they just like showed everything in one day. That was kind of anticlimactic, you know what I'm saying? You want to tease people and get people hyped, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to just show the specs and then go show the console design and everything. Don't get me wrong, it was cool to see that, but you know what I'm saying? Usually you want to keep a little excitement. That's what Sony did. They did it smart. They showed the specs, then the event at E3, we saw the console design, and then we got the games, and that's what Microsoft needs to do. Microsoft needs to follow the same formula that Sony did this generation, and we shouldn't have no problems next generation. But one thing we do need for the new consoles is 60 frames per second to be the standard. Without a doubt, 60 frames per second needs to be the standard. Obviously, 4K is going to be a heavy focus for the PS5 and the new Xbox, but I'm telling you right now, both these consoles need a Ryzen CPU. They need something of that nature, because 60 frames per second, especially going into next generation, if we're still messing with 30 frames per second, right, and these ridiculous resolutions, well, that's really going to anger a lot of people, especially me. So I'm telling you right now, 60 frames per second needs to be the standard. And I don't think anybody in the comment section or any of my haters out there will disagree. 60 frames per second needs to be the standard. And that right there is the video, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys enjoyed. Shout out again to all the subscribers. That's it, man. Hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know as soon as my news becomes available. Next up is Nintendo, and I'm out of here. Deuces.